Steph Curry is without a doubt one of the best point guards of all time, and in my opinion, the best point guard currently playing in the NBA. But despite that, people still think that this man has something left to prove in his career. And today, I'm making this video to prove that Steph Curry has nothing left to prove in his career, and he could walk into the Hall of Fame a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, the first thing I do want to touch on very quickly is Steph Curry's 2020 season, where he didn't play the majority of the season due to various injuries. And because of that, a lot of Steph's big detractors said that he was quote-unquote ducking the challenge of carrying a team to the playoffs without Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant. Now, to any rational NBA fan, that is a ridiculous statement and obviously 100% false. And that same narrative is following Steph into the 2021 season, as people are once again saying he has to carry this Warriors team to the playoffs to prove how valuable he is and to validate his past success. And one of the reasons I think this narrative that Steph has to carry a team to the playoffs is ridiculous is because if you go back to his early career, he's actually already done this multiple times. During the 2013 season, Steph, he led the Golden State Warriors to a 47-35 record. When coming into the year, they were only projected to win 35 games. And actually in the first round, Steph and the Warriors, they would help upset the Denver Nuggets, and in that series, Steph averaged 24.3 points per game, 9.3 assists, 4.3 boards, 2.2 steals, while shooting 46.8% from the field, 44.2% from three, and a perfect 100% from the line. And that Nuggets team the Warriors beat in 6 games, they went 57-25 during that year, and they were one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Now, in the second round of the playoffs, the Warriors, they were matched up against the San Antonio Spurs, and in this series, Steph once again was pretty good, averaging 22.5 points per game, 6.8 assists, 3.3 boards, with 1.2 steals, while shooting 40.5% from the field, 35.2% from three, and 82.4% from the line. And the Warriors, as a 6th seed, took the 2013 Spurs to 6 games, and this Spurs team, they would go on to make the NBA Finals and lose to the Miami Heat in 7 games. And the only other team in the NBA that took this Spurs team past 4 games was the Golden State Warriors. Now, in the 2014 season, Steph, he would lead the Warriors to a 51-31 record. That was their first 50-win season in 20 years. And Steph did this with no other All-NBA teammate. And disappointingly, in the playoffs, the Warriors, they would lose in 7 games to LA Clippers in the first round. But in that series, Steph, he was pretty good, averaging 23 points per game, 8.4 assists, 3.6 boards, 1.7 steals, while shooting 44% from the field, 38.6% from three, and 88.1% from the line. So in those 2 years, the 2013 and 2014 season, we saw a 24-year-old and 25-year-old Steph Curry lead the Warriors team to a 47-35 record and a 51-31 record. Now, moving ahead to the 2015 season, this is the year I really want to talk about, as Steph and the Warriors, they really broke out, and they had the best record in the NBA, going 67-15, and Steph, he did this with only one All-NBA teammate, that being Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, who was first-team All-Defense. And when it came to the playoffs, Steph and the Warriors, they would breeze through the Western Conference, having a 13-2 record, and in those games, Steph would average 29.2 points per game, 6.4 assists, 4.9 boards, 1.9 steals, while shooting 46.1% from the field, 43.7% from three, and 82% from the line. And before I dive into how Steph performed in the 2015 finals, I want to acknowledge one of the other big narratives that hangs over Steph Curry's head, and that is the fact that he has 0 finals MVPs. And in 2020, I have no idea why this narrative still even exists, and having a finals MVP, I don't want to downplay how important it is to win that award, but when you look at how Steph has played in basically all of his finals appearances outside of 2016, he's been very good in the NBA Finals. And in 2015, he averaged 26 points per game, 6.3 assists, 5.2 boards. In 2017, he averaged 26.8 points per game, 9.4 assists, and 8.0 rebounds. In 2018, once again, great, averaging 27.5 points per game, 6.8 assists, and 6.0 boards. In the 2019 finals, without Kevin Durant and without Klay Thompson for a couple of games, he averaged 30.5 points per game, 6.0 assists, and 5.2 boards, and he took one of the best defensive teams in the NBA to 6 games, and that was while being double teamed and triple teamed. So I hope that right there kind of ends the narrative that Steph needs to win a Finals MVP to be considered a great player or one of the top players in the NBA, because as you've seen, he's been pretty great in the NBA Finals. Now, getting back to the narrative that Steph had to prove himself and carry a terrible team to the playoffs, I think it's already been debunked, as when you look at the 2013 playoffs and Steph's best help, Jarrett Jack was actually the leading scorer behind Steph at 17.2 points per game. Harrison Barnes was at 16.1, Klay was at 15.2, and you had Carl Landry at 11.8. And Draymond Green during this postseason run, he only started one game for this Warriors team, and he averaged 5.8 points per game, as he had yet to come into his own and really reach his full potential. And just one more reminder, Steph led that team to 47 wins in the tough Western Conference and took the San Antonio Spurs to 6 games. Now, when looking at the 2014 playoffs, Steph's best teammate this time was Klay Thompson, averaging 16.4 points per game. David Lee averaged 13.9 points per game. Andre Iguodala averaged 13.1, and Draymond averaged 11.9. And that Golden State team won 51 games. So I think those 2 years alone, as I've shown already, prove that Steph has already shown he can lead a mediocre team to a good record in the Western Conference. And the one thing I don't understand is why people find it more impressive for a player to carry a team than it is for a player to make a team great. As in 2016, Steph took a really good Warriors team and he made them a great team, and an all-time great team at that, winning an NBA record 73 games. And as we all know, that 2016 year, it did not end how Warriors fans wanted it to, but I think that year showed that Steph, he was the best ceiling raiser in the NBA. That means he takes teams that are pretty good and makes them great teams. And I think currently in the NBA, Steph Curry, he is still the best ceiling raiser in the entire league. And for me personally, I find that more valuable than being a floor raiser, taking a bad team and making them a decent team. Now, the last thing I want to do to end this narrative is simply to look at Steph's resume as an NBA player. He's a 2-time MVP, 1-time unanimous, a 3-time NBA champion, 6-time All-NBA member, the 2015-16 scoring champion, a 6-time All-Star, and he has the record for the most threes in a single season. And that is while being one of the most influential players the NBA has ever seen. And I think if you stack that resume up against all the elite point guards in the NBA, Damian Lillard, Kyrie, Westbrook, Kyle Lowry, Steph's resume, it blows all those guys out of the water. And I think currently, Steph is the best point guard in the NBA. It's virtually unanimous among all NBA fans. I think some people, they want to make an argument for Dame, but after the playoffs, we saw that Dame, he really isn't on that level of a Steph Curry. And when it comes to head-to-head play, Steph throughout his career, he has basically owned Dame in the playoffs, and that is not an understatement. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is why we don't compare Steph Curry to the other elite point guards in the NBA, and we always compare him to perfection. And one of the reasons I think we do that is because a lot of people, they wanted to see that Warriors dynasty fail, they wanted to see Steph fail, and they wanted to see Kevin Durant fail. And I think when you're that great that early, like Steph Curry was in 2016, I think public opinion, it can change very fast and very rapidly. And I think 4 years later in 2020, some NBA fans have forgotten just how good Steph Curry is. So that is really all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this topic was kind of random, but I thought it'd be pretty important to address that I've seen this narrative and this topic come up numerous times over the past month. So I hope I did a good job of giving Steph Curry some justice, and I hope you guys realize that Steph Curry has absolutely nothing to prove in his NBA career. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.